Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Colleen, and let's just get into some weird news. So, I was thinking about what we could do for this podcast, like I always thinking about, and I realized that when this podcast comes out, it will be right after my birthday. So I thought, why don't we talk about some weird birthday facts, some weird facts that I found about birthdays. And let me tell you, I found some weird facts, some facts that I had no idea even existed. So let's just get into some weird birthday facts. Let's start off with birthday cake. So apparently the world's largest birthday, good gosh. We are not even 2 minutes in and I'm losing it. Happy birthday to me. But the world's largest birthday cake was created in 1989 for the 100th birthday of the city of Fort Payne, Alabama. The cake weighed around 128,238 pounds and 8 ounces. And it used 16,209 pounds of icing. That's a serious cake. I bet there was cake left over and they were like, please take some. We cannot have this anymore. I mean, but also with all these like cake shows that come out or all these like baking shows, I assume that somebody will make a bigger cake than that at some point. But, there was a show, it's like a Halloween themed show on Netflix where she made all sorts of cute treats and crafts and stuff for that like for Halloween and then birthdays and all sorts of stuff like that. It was super cute. And she made like an entire house, like the replica of the house in the show out of cake. And it was huge. Probably not this big, but it was pretty big. I don't know. Cakes can be ridiculous. Now let's talk about some birthday months. So apparently, August is the month that has the most birthdays. And like closely followed behind that is July and September. I thought that was kind of crazy. I didn't know that August was this like super birthday month. Like this is the month that has the most birthdays. But then I found this very interesting. The month with the least birthdays is February. So I'm in the least birthday month. That's pretty intense. I didn't know that at all, but it kind of makes sense because I actually don't know very many people that have birthdays in February. I know maybe one or two, and then that's it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Now let's talk about some expensive birthdays. So everybody throws birthday parties. I mean, especially probably more when you're younger than when you're older. I mean, every year, even as an adult, I do a birthday dinner with my parents and my sister and my husband and her fiance and that kind of thing. You know, we always do that every year for my birthday, and we do that for my sister's birthday and for my parents' birthdays. You know, that's the kind of birthday party we throw. But, you know, everybody has a birthday party when you're younger. Those are like the big things, are the birthday parties. But let's talk about the Sultan of Brunei. Brunei. I can't pronounce it. But so the Sultan of Brunei hosted the world's most expensive birthday party for his 50th on July 13th, 1996. Now, hold on to your seats, because this is an expensive birthday party. So the cost was around $27.2 million. And this included 3 separate concerts by Michael Jackson costing costing $16 million. So he spent $27.2 million to throw this huge party, and $16 million of that $27.2 million was spent on Michael Jackson performing 3 separate concerts. That's insane. That is so much money. I mean, come on. I feel like the number, though, like, nowadays with celebrities and whatnot, everybody, they always throw these big lavish events for weddings and birthday parties. I assume weddings, there's higher numbers than birthdays, but they always throw these like lavish parties for this and for that. So I can assume that maybe since July 13th, 1996, there's been a birthday that might have cost more than that, but this is the one that I found that was the most expensive birthday party, which is absolutely insane. I guess the Sultan of Brunei just really liked Michael Jackson, and he really, really, really wanted to party. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever have $27.2 million. And also, if I had it, I don't think I'd spend that much money on a birthday party. I wouldn't know where to spend the money. What do you put the money into? I don't have that many people to bring to a party. It's ridiculous. Now let's move on to my favorite playwright of all time, and that is William Shakespeare. Now apparently William Shakespeare died at the age of 52 on his birthday. So he died on his 52nd birthday, which was April 23rd, 1616. That kind of stinks to die on your birthday, but it's kind of funny that you came into the world on this day and then you left the world on this day. I guess not funny, but like, I don't know, full circle in a way. Like it's really full circle that you're, you know, came into the world and now I'm going to leave the world on the exact same day. He lived a decent life though, especially for back then. I don't know. I don't think I've known anybody who died on their birthday. I don't think so. But let's move on before this gets morbid. So it used to be only kings who celebrated who threw birthday parties. And they did this, and it was only kings and stuff like that. And that was because apparently no one else was considered important enough to throw a birthday party. So basically, way back when, kings were like, I throw a birthday party because I am king and I rule the land and I'm so important, and you are a peasant and not important enough to have a birthday party. I don't know. That's ridiculous. It's funny though that was a thing, and then nowadays everybody throws a birthday party. Everyone from the Sultan of Brunei to you or me. Everyone throws a birthday party. We throw birthday parties every year for people's children, for yourself, for your family members, for all that kind of stuff. And so I guess we've all become important enough throughout the years to throw birthday parties for ourselves or have birthday parties for ourselves. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny that once upon a time everybody wasn't that important, and now we are that important. Let's throw one more of these in here for you guys. So let's talk about percentages. So apparently 58% of all cards purchased in the United States are actually birthday cards. So that's like over half of all the cards that are purchased are birthday cards. I'm actually kind of surprised about it. I guess nowadays cards they're still a very popular thing, but they're not as popular as anything else. I would really think that it's like Christmas cards, but at the same time people make their own Christmas cards, so I don't think that counts in the purchasing of a card. Yeah, no, I don't know. And now everything's online and people send e-cards and that made me sound really old. But people send all sorts of different things instead of birthday cards or just cards in general. But I do see that obviously the card industry is still flourishing, because have you ever been to like a Target or like a CVS or something like that? They got all those cards, the Walgreens. Yeah, No, apparently they're still doing pretty good. Now, I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some weird birthday facts.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts. Past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking about weird birthday facts, and we are going to continue on this path and talk about some more weird birthday facts. Now, this one that I found is probably one of the strangest things I have ever heard. I did not know this was a thing, and I doubt that you did too. This is just, it's a doozy. Now let's talk about it. So throughout the 19th century, 21st, birthdays were special. And there was a special present that people would get for their 21st birthday. And this would be that they would have all their natural teeth removed from their mouth and replaced with dentures. So as not to have to get any sort of, or have any sort of dental issues later on in life. What? I mean, what? I mean, if this was now and somebody totally wanted to get me some veneers, I would be yes. But this is still that thing where I don't know, it's so weird that this it's my 21st birthday. Let's get all my teeth removed. I'm so excited. It's my 21st birthday. Yeah, no. This is so weird. Just get all my teeth removed, put some dentures in, and I am set. Let me tell you. What do you think about this? What do you think about any of these? Honestly, I want you guys to let me know what you think about these, or weird gifts that you've gotten, or anything like that. I'm always on the social medias at GSMC_Weird News on Twitter and the GSMC Weird News Facebook page. Always there, always willing to talk to you guys. But let's go on to our next weird birthday fact. So this is about one of my favorite people, Paul McCartney. So apparently Paul McCartney's birth certificate was auctioned off in March of 1997 for $84,146. I have so many questions about this. I have so many questions. How did they get Paul McCartney's birth certificate? Is it okay for them to auction it off? Doesn't he need that? And who bought this? Who spent $84,000 and some change to buy Paul McCartney's birth certificate? I need to know. I have so many questions when it comes to this. This is just one of the weird things. I always think it's weird when people are auctioning off things for celebrities, and it's just the most unnecessary thing. Here, it's a tissue that he once used in his nose, and I saw him throw it in a trash can, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that, and maybe somebody will like it, and then someone pays thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I don't know. This is weird. And don't you need your birth certificate? I don't know. Was it an original copy? Was it an original copy? I don't know. Let's move on. So apparently when your age and date of birth are the same, it's called the golden birthday. So basically, I'll use my birthday as an example. So I was born on February 6th. Now, apparently, it's the day of the month. So it's not the month or the year, it's the day of the month. So basically, when I was 6, that was my golden birthday. So now I don't have one. I mean, there was no sort of significance that I could see to this besides it just being like, it's the same number. How cool, you know? But I definitely, I think it's kind of weird and it's kind of cute. Golden birthday. If you were born on a 21st and it's your 21st birthday, it's like your 21st and your golden birthday. I don't know. It sounds nice. It kind of sounds like golden hour and I think of just like nice, beautiful, soft light. Let's move on. So apparently the least common birth date that's besides having a leap year birthday, so that one doesn't count in this, is May 22nd. Are any of you guys born on May 22nd? Obviously, I am not. But I don't know if I know anybody. Let me know on the at GSMC_Weird News Twitter or the GSMC Weird News Facebook page if you were born on May 22nd or know anybody that was. Because apparently it's the least common birthday besides, you know, leap year. I've known some people who were born on leap year. But I don't know about May 22nd. It's kind of odd. Once again, we'll move on. So remember how we talked about cards? We talked about how 58% of all cards are birthday, like all cards purchased in the US are birthday cards. Let's talk about the cards that play music. So you know those cards when you open them up and they're like, happy birthday to you, and you're like, what do I do with this? And then if you like, you're taking it home or you have it at home and you drop it on the ground, it opens up and it just starts singing and you're like, why? But those cards, those singing cards, use more computing power than was used to send a man to the moon. That's insane. There is so much computing power in this tiny little card that you get that is usually the most annoying or something super cute or something like that. And there is just so much power in this little card. Technology is weird. Technology is crazy. It always ceases to amaze me when, like, this is everyday life, right? Those cards are something that everybody knows about. You know, everyone's got a phone, everyone's got a computer, you know, it's kind of stuff like that. But when you sit there and you think about it, we are living in the future. And it's kind of weird to think about it in that sense. Because, like, I remember when I was little and we would pretend that touchscreens were a thing and they were not a thing. And we pretend, you know, that you could touch, you'd be like, how cool would it be? Blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly they're everywhere. Touchscreen is everywhere. You have a mini computer in your pocket that is a touchscreen. People have touchscreen computers. There are touchscreen everythings now. And it's just little stuff like that that makes me just kind of go, we're living in the future. And it's real weird. We have electric cars. I know we don't have like flying cars or anything like that, but this is still pretty, those things that you don't think about all the time are still very monumental when it comes to that. Okay, I'm getting off track here. Let's move on to another fact. So, let's talk about Shirley Temple. Animal crackers in my soup, Shirley Temple. If you don't know who she is, look her up. I grew up with Shirley Temple. Loved her, but apparently on her 8th birthday, she received 135,000 presents. 135,000 presents on her 8th birthday. That is like any 8-year-old's dream. Because you're like, ooh, I want the presents. Ooh, it's my birthday, you know, and you are 8 years old and you got that many presents, you are just over the moon. You're like, I mean, come on. That is like any child's dream at this point, is receiving so many presents that you could bury yourself in them. Like, for real. That's kind of crazy. I mean, she was just on top of the world at that age, though. Like, she was just dominating the industry, the movie industry. She was just, you know, numero uno. And so I can understand that she got so many presents, but it's still kind of mind-boggling that it's 135,000 presents. That is so many presents. That is a lot of presents for an 8-year-old, let alone anybody. Especially for an 8-year-old. I mean, that's just, I don't know, that's crazy. That's, like I said, it's any 8-year-old's dream to receive so many presents you could swim in them. Now let's take a quick break, and when I come back, we'll talk more about some weird birthday stuff.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Now, before the break and this entire podcast, we're talking about weird birthday facts, weird things that have to do with birthdays. So let's bring it on down to another weird birthday fact, and then let's talk about some weird birthday traditions as well. So let's talk about the song Happy Birthday. You know that song. Everybody knows that song. It's that song that makes you feel so uncomfortable while everybody sings it to you on your birthday and you're like, please make it stop. I remember when I was in high school, I think I was a freshman in high school, I was in a math class, and somebody told the teacher that it was my birthday, and they made me stand on the desk while everybody sang happy birthday to me. It was the most uncomfortable thing that's ever happened. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to this fact. The most famous rendition of the song Happy Birthday is when Marilyn Monroe sang Happy Birthday, Mr. President to John F. Kennedy at the Madison Square Garden on May 19th, 1962. Now, this doesn't surprise me in the least because I mean, when you think, besides just thinking of the happy birthday song in general, that's like the other first thing you think of. Happy birthday, Mr. President. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to do it. But you know that song. If you don't, look it up and then you'll be like, oh, no, maybe I have, you know, I've heard this, you know, and it's something that a lot of friends will do to kind of like joke around with other friends and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not surprised that it's the most famous rendition of Happy Birthday out there at all. Now let's actually talk about some weird birthday traditions from around the world. I thought we'd throw these in here to kind of switch it up. Now let's go head on over to the Caribbean. Caribbean? I'm not sure if it's Caribbean or Caribbean. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say Caribbean. Okay. In many regions of the Caribbean, most commonly in Jamaica, when, like, any age, you can expect on your birthday to have huge amounts of flour thrown at you by all your friends and your family. And apparently sometimes if you're unlucky, your friends or family will throw water on you and then throw flour on you, and then that makes it incredibly hard to get off. Yeah, I'd rather not celebrate my birthday by having people throw flour at me. How does that sound? I'm not going to. If you're in the Caribbean and you're listening to this, first off, let me know if it's Caribbean or Caribbean. And second off, do you do this? Let me know at GSMC _ Weird News Twitter or the GSMC Weird News Facebook page, or just let me know any weird birthday traditions that you guys do every year. And let's move on over. So apparently, the Hungarians will wish an individual good luck and a happy birthday by pulling on their earlobes. This tradition will normally take place just before the opening of any birthday presents, while a song is sung that translates to "God bless you, live so long, so your ears reach your ankles." Now, I would not like this either. I have gauged ears. I have stretched ears. So, I mean, they're already getting pretty long, and I mean, they're not going to get any bigger than that, but I can pull them down pretty long, and I'd also just not like people to pull on my earlobes. That sounds terrible. I'm gonna pass on this one as well. So let's go from Hungary, from our Hungarians and our Caribbeans, and move on over to Germany. So there's a long-standing tradition in Germany where single men turning 30 are required to go out and sweep steps of a local church or town hall. And this is supposed to give them the chance to show off how good they are at cleaning. But for young children in Germany, they're actually exempt from doing homework and chores for the day, which I'm more on that level. On my birthday, I would have been doing this podcast, but I thought I'd do it beforehand so I could do nothing and watch TV or just do whatever I want to do, play video games or something like that. So I'm on that one. But I think this is hilarious that they're like, if you're a single man and you're turning 30, you got to go sweep the steps of your church or your town hall to show off to all the ladies that you're a good cleaner and a good or a positive candidate, a possible candidate for a husband. I don't know. I think that's pretty funny, to be honest. Once again, with all of these, like, if you've ever heard of these or know anybody who kind of like follows these traditions, let me know. Tweet me. Hit me up on the Facebook, like, let me know. I'm just so curious when it comes to this kind of stuff. Especially this next one, because this is Canada, and this is my close brother in here. I am in the US, so, you know, Canada is my brother on the other side, and I'd really like to know if anybody of you is listening from Canada, if you follow these or if this is just something that people used to do or what it is. So let's move on to Canada. So apparently a very famous tradition in Canada is the practice of nose greasing. This is where a young boy or girl is pinned to the floor while their nose gets smeared with butter. And apparently the reason for this is to ensure the individual is far too slippery for bad luck or negativity to get a hold of them next year. Let me know if you are in Canada, or you've been to Canada, you have family in Canada, anything like that, if this is a thing, because I need to know. This is really weird. I don't know. They're all weird, and I mean, I guess any tradition that we do down here is probably a little weird to people in other countries as well, but let me know about this. I need to know if greasing noses so you are too slippery for bad luck is a real thing, and also if it helps, because if it helps, I would very much want my nose greased with butter on my birthday. Like, for real. Get that bad luck out of my life. Get that negativity as far away from me as possible. Butter my nose all you want, grease my nose all you want, as long as I'm not dealing with this negativity or this bad luck in my life. I need to know. And why is it just the nose? Can anybody tell me that? Why is it just the nose that gets greased in this situation? Why is it not the whole body? I just want to know. I don't know. I'm just curious, and when I see these weird facts, I'm looking up all these weird facts. Especially when it comes to facts about other countries, sometimes things can be stuff that people used to do, like way back when, or they can be things that people do, or sometimes just things that were kind of miscommunicated along the way. So I just want to know. I'm just curious. I'm just a curious lady who wants to know. Also, like I said, let me know your guys' traditions when it comes to birthdays. My family has the dinner every year, but also, up until me and my sister were 21, we stopped at 21, we did themed birthdays. And they were themed in the thing of what we were scared of. So we themed them around things that we were scared of. It was really weird, and that probably sounds absolutely insane to a lot of people, but it was always fun. Like, we did a shark-themed birthday for my sister. We made a shark cake, and we did an alien-themed birthday for my sister. I am terrified of garden gnomes. I know it's really weird, but my mom did a garden gnome themed birthday for me. And, you know, just kind of stuff like that. We just like to joke around with each other, and that's really where that kind of stemmed from. But we did do themed birthdays for a really, really long time. And it was just kind of like the thing that we did in our household, like specifically, was always some sort of theme when it came to a birthday party. Now I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk about some more weird birthday traditions.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC, Invicta FC, Bellator, and One Championship. We got the fights covered. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts. Past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Now, before the break and this entire podcast, we are talking birthdays. We're talking weird birthday facts and weird birthday traditions. So we just talked about a few weird birthday traditions in the Caribbean, in Hungary, in Germany. Now, let's move on to Venezuela. So apparently, the thing is you're going to get your head pushed into the birthday cake as a gesture of luck for the year ahead of you. Luck and love for the year ahead of you. Now, this I found as not being actually too weird, because a lot of times in birthdays that I've been to, or I've been a part of, or anything like that, somebody will take cake and put it in their face, or try and put their face in the whole cake, and it's just... But that's more all in good fun, whereas this is more for laughter and luck ahead, I guess. But now that we talked about Venezuela, let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Switzerland. So apparently parents in Switzerland will hire an evil clown for their child's birthday. The clown will only look terrifying, but it will also follow and torment the birthday child before putting a pie in their face for good luck. This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Please, for the love of everything, don't do this to your children. That is like so traumatizing. I don't know if this is real. Like, this has to, I don't know. It's so weird. This is one of the weirdest things I've heard of. And I think I've heard of it in passing before, but this is like just 100% not on board for this. This is not for me. Please nobody hire a evil clown for my birthday, because that's terrifying. Also, that sounds expensive, because they're gonna have to, they torment and follow the birthday child around. So you're paying for a full day of thing, and then for them to finally put a pie in their face. But I guess if you've done this for a bunch of years and you're desensitized to it, you just be like, "Sup, clown? See you later." I don't know. What do you think of this? Let me know on the @GSMC_Weird News Twitter and the GSMC Weird News Facebook page. One or the other, I'm always on. Let me know what you think of this, because this is one of the strangest things that I've found while looking up and just doing my research in general on weird traditions around the world. Also, if you know anybody in Switzerland, or if you've been there or anything like that and birthdays have arisen, is this real? Somebody let me know. I've seen this multiple times in my internet travels, looking for, perusing and researching. That's what I'm looking for. Perusing and researching the internet. I found this multiple times, and I just want to know about it. I just want to know about this. Now, let's move from Switzerland to Denmark. So apparently, rather than a standard birthday cake, Danish children will enjoy a cake man, which resembles like the patient from the Operation game, but with icing. And then once songs are sung and candles have been blown out, the cake man is decapitated, and the head is presented to the birthday girl or boy, and then the rest of the family and friends eat the body. This is kind of great, to be honest. I want to do this. Like, this sounds kind of fun. You're just decapitating. I know this sounds, that sounds so morbid, but it sounds kind of fun. It's like, I get the head because I am the birthday girl, or I'm the birthday queen, off with the cake head, with the cake man's head. I don't know. There's something about this that I'm just all about. Something that I just enjoy about this cake man. I don't know. Let's move on to China. So apparently in China, when a child is born, they're considered about a year old already, meaning that their first birthday is actually their second birthday. But on their birthday, on this day, their first/second birthday, the child will be placed on the floor, surrounded by different objects. And apparently the first object that the child picks is thought to be, or like determine what they'll be when they grow up. Now, that's strange, and I don't believe that works at all, but I mean, to each their own. But also, apparently, a cake is skipped altogether, and instead, the child will be given a bowl of noodles, which they must put in their mouth until they can't fit any more in. I love noodles, so I'm okay with this, but I don't know if there's like an age thing for this. I don't know if it's like also tiny children do this, or if it's like once you get a little bit older you do this. But I thought it was interesting that they put these objects around their child and they're like, pick one, and whatever they pick is meant to be or determine what they might be when they grow up. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting, and I've never heard that before. I have heard about how the fact that they consider a child who is just born as being a year old, which is a little confusing to me personally. Now let's move on over to Russia. So apparently instead of a birthday cake, Russian children enjoy a birthday pie, which has a greeting carved into the crust. So that's kind of cute, right? And then they'll play a game that features the use of a clothesline and hang prizes from it so that each guest can take a present home. I think this is cute and kind of a nice way to be inclusive to all your guests, especially when it comes to children. I think this is a nice little thing. And I'm not a big pie fan. I like some pies, but not all pies. I know I have a lot of friends who are like, you don't like pie? I just don't like a lot of pies. I just like some pies. But, so I wouldn't be on the pie train with this. I would go 100% cake, but I think it's cute that they use the crust to carve like happy birthday or whatever it is into it. I think that's kind of a cute idea. And maybe that's something you could do if your friend or your child or whatever doesn't like, cake. You could do a birthday pie instead, and I think that would be super cute. I might do that for my husband since he doesn't like cake. If we do cake, it's always ice cream cake and never actual cake because he's just not a fan of it. And I can understand it. Sometimes people are just not a cake fan. I like brownies more than cake, but I do like cake too. But, just, you know, some people aren't a cake fan, and I think that the idea of doing a birthday pie is a really good idea and something that you could take from, I guess, this Russian tradition and bring into your every year birthday party or an every year birthday party for somebody you know or like. I mean, I think this is a good idea. Or even just as a cute gift, you could make a little pie and put a little happy birthday in it or something like that. I don't know. I think some of these things are fun and could be translated or used by anybody to bring into a birthday celebration that you do every year. Like, I'm definitely going to do the Cake Man one from Denmark. Maybe not for me, but maybe for my sister or something like that. I think that would be so much fun to do the Cake Man, and then she gets the head of the Cake Man. Like, I don't know. I like that a lot. But I think that there are so many ways that you could take inspiration from these traditions and bring them into your birthday parties or into somebody else's birthday party. I would stay away from the clown one, but otherwise, I mean, you could pull some fun stuff out with a lot of these different ones. I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk some more birthday stuff.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Now, before the break and this entire podcast, we've been talking about weird birthday stuff. And we talked about some weird birthday facts. And right before the break, we were talking about weird birthday traditions. And we're going to continue on with weird birthday traditions. Let's head on over to India and talk about shaving heads. So on a child's first birthday, his or her head is shaved while the baby is held over a special fire. This is to symbolize cleansing of evil and renewal of the soul. Now, I thought this was a little strange, but obviously, to each their own. And if they've been doing it for so long, there's probably very safe measures that they do it in, so that's probably fine. Let's keep it on theme with the babies and head on over to New Delhi. Now, this one is a doozy. So apparently in some parts of New Delhi, it is customary for some believers to toss their infants off the roof of the Baba Umar Durga shrine. I can't pronounce things. But the babies aren't hurled to their deaths. No. This is more like they're hurled into a sheet or a net, which is held by one of the parents. This is still absolutely terrifying, and you should not do this. But I don't know. This is real dangerous. So they take their babies and they hurl them off the shrine, or somebody hurls them off the shrine, and somebody catches them in a net or a sheet or something else, and yeah, this is not recommended. Not at all. I do not recommend this. I do not condone this at all. This is just super, super, super unusual. Just don't throw babies off the roof. Now let's move on over back to China. Now this one's a little confusing. Remember how we said that Chinese children, when they're born, are already considered a year old? Well, it's important to keep that in mind when it comes to this. So for Chinese women, the 30th birthday is associated with danger and chaos, so they remain 29 for an extra year instead. And the 33rd birthday is also the same. And to avoid bad luck, women will hide in the kitchen and chop a piece of meat 33 times, which apparently will transfer evil spirits into the meat, which is then tossed out. And a similar ritual occurs on the 66th birthday, but a daughter or a close female relative has to carry out the chopping instead. For men, there are little less to remember. Many simply skip their 40th birthday and remain 39 for an additional year. So if you're a woman, basically you can skip some birthdays and remain a specific age for another year to combat evil or misfortune or something like that. But there are also some Chinese people that don't actually start celebrating their birthdays at all until they're 60. The advance in age is seen as the start of a new life cycle. So after 60, some only celebrate their birthdays like every 10 years until they pass. So it kind of all depends on gender. So like depending on your gender, you can skip a birthday in China. This is a little confusing, I know, but once again, to recap so we can kind of understand what's going on here. So if you're a woman in China and your 30th birthday comes up, and that's kind of associated with danger or chaos, so remain 29 and you don't celebrate a birthday that year. And then when you turn 33, that birthday is also said to be associated with danger or chaos or bad omens and stuff like that. So you avoid that, but you need to hide in your kitchen and chop a piece of meat 33 times to transfer the evil from you to the meat. And then you gotta toss it out. And then you do the same kind of thing on your 66th birthday, but you have a close female relative do the chopping for you. So basically, the whole thing is you got to skip some birthdays if you are Chinese and you're a woman. I don't know. This was probably one of the weirdest birthday tradition things that I found. Is just real strange, real unusual, and just not what not something I'm going to do. I'll just continue to celebrate my birthdays as time goes on. Let me know if any of you guys are Chinese and your family does things this way or not. I'm just curious. Since it's, it's something that I'm not used to, or even a lot of our listeners aren't used to. And let me know on the @GSMC_Weird News Twitter page and the GSMC Weird News Facebook page. I'm always on those, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Now, let's move on to Vietnam. So this one I thought was interesting. So apparently in Vietnam, there is only one birthday for everybody, and everybody celebrates that birthday on the same day, which is Tet, the Vietnamese New Year. It's intended to bring in the coming of spring, but it's also the day when every woman and man celebrate their collective birthday. Now, this is something that a lot of Vietnamese are adopting the Western and like more modern style of things. So they're, celebrating actual birthdays. But there are some that still actually continue to celebrate this joint birthday as a whole. I thought that was kind of cool that everybody's just like, oh, we all have one birthday and we all celebrate on the same day. But then I don't know if it feels that special. Or if it's even more special because it's, one big special day, but it's for everybody instead of just you. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this, because it could be, even more special because everybody's celebrating the same day and, I don't know. And it's everybody's birthday. Or do you think it would feel more special personally to you if you celebrated your birthday on the day that you were born? I'm just curious about this. Let me know what you guys think. Once again, at GSMC_Weird News on Twitter and the GSMC Weird News Facebook page, because I almost think that it would be kind of fun for everybody to have the same birthday, and there's no separate birthdays. You only gotta buy gifts on one day, but then you gotta buy a lot of gifts. It's kind of like a Christmas. I don't know, but it's still kind of, that special thing, but everybody's celebrating the same birthday on the same day. Or do you like the idea of having things more personal to you, where it's the day that you were born and it's special to only you? I don't know. Let me know about this. I'm really curious on what you think. I think it's kind of, I don't know, it sounds fun both ways to me. I don't know. Either way, celebrate your birthday because that was the day that you came in to this glorious world and blessed us with your glorious little baby face. And now you're an adult and you have an adult face, or you're still a baby and you have a baby face. I don't know. But celebrate your birthday. Do you? I always celebrate my birthday. I celebrate my friends' birthdays, my husband's birthday. I think last year, my husband's best friend, he doesn't like to throw birthday parties for him, but we threw him a super soft birthday party, which, if you've seen the TV show Letterkenny, is basically a child's birthday party for an adult. I made cupcakes that everybody could decorate themselves. We wore children's party hats. It was all in good fun, And it was all to celebrate him and the day that he came into the world, because he's special to every single one of us. And it's just, I don't know, everybody's special to someone, and you should always celebrate that. Celebrate the fact that these humans that you enjoy spending time with and interacting with were born on a specific day that is special to them. I don't know. Or born on the exact same day. I don't know, I'm rambling. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some more weird birthday stuff.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking about weird birthday traditions. And this entire podcast, we've been talking about weird birthday facts, weird birthday traditions, weird birthday stuff. Now, I want to move it on over to Bali. Now, in Bali, newborns are considered too holy to touch the ground, and it's custom for babies to not make contact with the ground until they've been on the earth for at least 91 days or above the earth. Once a baby comes of age, the previously uncleaned floor becomes pure again, and they can walk on it without threat of spiritual contamination or anything like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if I'd want my baby not to touch the ground for an entire 3 months, but I don't have a baby, so I don't know. Let's move on to another Russian one. We talked about Russia earlier, and we're going to bring it on back. So apparently, in Russia, in some parts of Russia, sometimes there are objects that you already own being wrapped up by ghosts, as what they call them, and presented to you as new offerings. It is customary for Russian spirits to confiscate the possessions of misbehaving children or family members, but if the person is good all year long, the possibility those possessions will be returned to them on the week of their birthday increases. So you're going to get your stuff back. I don't know. But the fun in it is the children get to guess which wrapped present contains a new toy or which one contains an old toy that was taken by malevolent spirits. I don't know. I thought this was kind of an interesting thing and also a little strange. But let's move on to one that's a little cuter. So this comes from Ukraine. Oosh. I'm losing my words here. So this comes from Ukraine, where Ukrainians will draw a circle on a piece of paper, which they cut into 8 slices like a pizza. And then on each of them, they write something bad that happened to them in the last year and burn it. When the bad things are all burned, and in the past, the same pizza is made, but this time with positive changes in the past year of the one's life. So I thought this was really cute. And this is also something that if you wanted to find new things to add to your birthday shindigs or your little birthday gatherings that you could do. Just, write down the bad things that have happened in the past year. You burn those, and then you write down the good changes that have happened. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty cute, to be honest, and something you could incorporate and something that I might. Now let's talk about some birthday rules from around the globe. So apparently, in Germany, Greece, and some other countries, it's considered bad luck to wish someone a happy birthday before their exact day, or to celebrate early. Which I never celebrated early unless there was an issue with, stuff. We always celebrated later. So I can kind of understand that. But let's move on to another one. So, Italy, Germany, and other European countries, unlike the United States, it's the birthday girl or boy or whoever's place to pay for the drinks or the food. So basically, instead of everybody buying you the things for your birthday, you buy everybody the things. I don't know if I will be incorporating that into my birthday. But along the same lines, the birthday celebrant in like Germany and some other places will actually be the one baking the cake for their friends and family instead of the friends and family baking the cake for them, which I've done this before just because I wanted a cake and I wanted it this way. But usually my mother, she's the one who bakes a cake for me, and she's the best person in the whole world. But let's move on to another one. So in Italy, you're expected to open your birthday present right away in front of the person who gave it to you. It's rude to just put the wrap package to the side. Yeah, so you gotta take it, you gotta open it, like now. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. But I mean, I can understand that too. My husband's like that when it comes to gifts though. He wants to give people gifts like way too early for things, and then he wants them to open it like right then. I mean, I can understand I want to watch the person open the gift, but if they don't want to open it right then don't let them open it. They can do whatever they please with it. It's their gift that you gave them. I mean, come on. Now let's talk about some birthday foods instead of birthday rules. So remember how we said in China that they would eat noodles instead? Well, Chinese people actually will eat the egg noodles on their birthday, and this is to symbolize the longevity. So I thought that was pretty interesting. We also talked about how Russians do the personalized pies, like birthday pies instead of a birthday cake. Now, Australians celebrate their birthday. They often eat fairy bread, which is a rolled up, pastry, which consists of buttered white bread and rainbow sprinkles on it. And I thought that sounds delicious, but I just love bread and butter and sprinkles, so I'm all for that. Maybe I'll have to try that. Now, in the Netherlands, they do tarties, which are like tarts filled with fruits and topped with whipped cream. That's like something my mother would, or like something we do for my mom on her birthday, because we've done tarts for her birthday before, and she loves that. So, because then it's not a cake. And let's go over to South Korea. So I'm gonna butcher this word, I'm telling you now. They eat mingguk, which is a seaweed soup. And it's served as a birthday breakfast. This seaweed soup is said to like replenish nutrients. So actually mothers will often eat it after they've gone through childbirth as well. But it's kind of interesting to see all over the world how people celebrate their birthdays different, and they eat different things on their birthdays and have different rules and stuff like that. I mean, I always we do birthday parties, get together with friends, have food, have cake, have a good time, and just, there's nothing that we really do that's over the top unless I decide to do something over the top, like a soft birthday where I make a child's birthday for an adult. But either way, birthdays are all in good fun. My birthday is coming up here, and I am going to do nothing on my birthday. Now, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch TV, or I'm going to play video games, or I'm going to do something that I just want to do, and then when the night rolls around, I'm going to go over to my parents' house, and we're going to have a great dinner and a good cake. I think this year, she said she's making me a coconut marzipan cake with a chocolate drizzle on it. And that sounds absolutely delicious. Every year she kind of finds a new recipe for a different cake and she makes that. And so it's kind of like we have a different type of cake every year. And it's always really fun. And she makes it specifically to something that the person whose birthday it is likes. So whatever my sister likes, she'll make something specific for my sister, and then she'll make something specific for me. This is a new recipe she found, and she was like, would you like this? Because it's not like 100% chocolate like I always make you. And I was like, absolutely. I love marzipan, and I love coconut. So I think it's going to be absolutely great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to starting another year of my life, and I'm going to get rid of that bad stuff that happened last year, and I'm going to move on forward. It's like a new year, but it's not. It's your birthday. Now I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I talk to you guys about some weird birthday facts and some weird birthday traditions and foods. And I want to hear your guys' personal traditions that you guys do on your birthdays or for somebody else's birthday or whatever it is. And you can let me know at the Twitter or the Facebook page. I'm always on those at GSMC_Weird News on Twitter and the GSMC Weird News Facebook page. Let me know your different birthday traditions, or if you've heard other weird traditions that I didn't talk about today, or just weird birthday facts in general. And once again, I want to thank you so much for listening to the GSMC Weird News podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Colleen, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.